Hello, welcome everybody. It's myself and Jammer joining you once again with some UK CS in the form of Esports Wales.
Yeah,
Hot on the subject of UK CS after today's Twitter revelations, or I say Twitter revelations, Twitter announcements is probably the better way of putting it. You and I were talking pre-match about this, and obviously it's a bit concerning from a UK CS perspective. But today we saw the loss of three separate orgs.
yeah, it's kind of been a long fall downhill. It's almost like an avalanche of all these orgs kind of closing their doors, and it kind of feels like an annihilation or an extinction moment, or what's it called? An extinction event. That's what I was trying to
Yeah,
find.
yeah.
Because all of these orgs have kind of just shut down.
I mean, socially quite a big org in respect of an esports side of things. You and I have covered them a number of different times throughout the last. I don't even know how long now. We've covered them quite a fair bit as a duo. So, that was a bit of a shock, most definitely. And then you flip the switch and immediately I'm scrolling through Twitter. I'm looking at UMX. Obviously, roster change with the UMX. It kind of. It's kind of expected because UMX were king of CS for pretty much the entirety of last year. For UK CS scene or the EU scene for the amateur leagues was kind of rocked quite a fair bit by UMX last season and last year. So kind of expected for that roster change to happen and then things to change in the background. And then you fast forward to an hour ago. I'd say 2 hours ago now. And Horus closed their doors as well. Three big names as well within the community.
Yeah, it's kind of like sent waves throughout everyone because, obviously with all these teams being dropped, it's kind of thrown everything in disarray. And I kind of hope that they can kind of like keep the cores of these teams together because, we've seen each of these respective teams do have some impact on the UK scene. And so, obviously they're going to want to continue to try and, build their way back up and show these orgs like, hey, you shouldn't have dropped us. We want to fight and claw our way back up to the top and show exactly what we're worth. But on the flip side, like these orgs, it's hard to maintain an org and keep players on a roster, especially with how volatile the UK CS scene is. So it's totally understandable why what's happened has happened. And I just hope that we can get a kind of new era of UK CS where we kind of take this as a moment to start from a new baseline. Kind of reorganize ourselves within the community, hopefully get some solid rosters together again after one more round of mix-ups and then see where we end up, and hopefully we can solidify the UK scene a bit stronger.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be a weird couple of weeks. I feel. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Hopefully, whatever happens, it's for the right reasons and good reasons, of course. But we'll see how things progress. And obviously, if you want to keep in tune with the UK CS scene and I say the UK CS scene, the UK esports scene in general, I think is probably the better way of putting it. Following both Esports Wales on Twitter as well as myself and Jammer, you can keep up to date on all the stuff that we see happening within the scene, whether you see it or not first. I'm sure both me and Jammer will be commenting on bits and pieces as things progress over the next couple of days. And this is the other thing to take into consideration. We're in August, coming towards the end of August into September. We've got a month and a half, 2 months maximum till Epic Land. I saw yesterday the tournament sign-ups were released, so you can now officially go and sign up for tournaments. So for changes like this to be happening with 2 months to separate, you would put that in a good light for there to be a big potential for teams to really be able to recuperate and get back into the swing of things. Speaking of the swing of things, I think it's time that we jumped into some gameplay. I think you'll agree, Jammer, we've jabbered on enough as it is.
Yep. We can only bear so much of our own voices. I can't imagine how the people at home are feeling.
Yeah, no, it's the same. 100% agreed. We're just going to quickly fix the HUD for whatever reason. It is coming through twice for me for some reason, for you guys as well. So that shouldn't be a moment. There we go. Apologies for that, everyone. Yeah, we're now good. We're back with the proper screen, so you can see exactly what's going on. We haven't had this. We have had the swap. Sorry, that will be ESW Team Ya on CT for yourselves, and we have, for some reason, Cox Team, but it's not Cox Team. It should be retired.
It's
retired
5.
5, exactly. That is just not willing to work with me today, is it? Let's be completely honest. There we go. I'll let you talk while I scramble in the background to kick this thing into action properly.
All right, then. Well, Retired 5 have managed to get 3 players towards the site. They've got a bomb plan, and now they're fighting in towards CT. That's 2 big kills. I don't know who that is because they're muted for me. So I'll try and get their name up again. Okay, well, it's all just fallen apart. Retired 5 have re-retired from this round, and EsportsWales, they've just recovered everything out of nothing. They lost CT control, which is such a critical part of the map, but somehow Zyrex and Alex work together and recover things.
Yeah, it went quite nicely. I mean, I want to kind of point out, from a sort of pre-match looking perspective, Retired 5 have been very, very, heavy hitters for the last couple of games they've been playing. So it's kind of strange to see them drop that CT side immediately. Just quickly sorting this out with the HUD, so I'll let you crack on, mate, and I'll be back in a second.
Well, it does seem like Retired 5 want to invest in towards this round. They didn't win the round, but they got a bomb plant, so that extra money has bought them these AKs, and the AK gets to work. Conti gets a kill, but he does have his man Apix falling to the wayside. Tree can answer back, though, and these last 3 players are in connector. It is going to be on Tree to hold them off, but you can't do anything, and that's brought it back to a 3-on-3. Now, Retired 5, they can go and recover the bomb and execute any site they want. In a man disadvantage situation, or an X versus X situation, we like to call it, it does favor the T side more often than not because, of course, the CTs need to be able to hold these sites, and it's a bit harder to do when you don't have all of the people around you to do it. They are going to fall back into a more passive setup with the IGL pushing up short. That is the man Nova. He's not going to get any info in bathrooms, and that's going to be a bit unfortunate because Retired 5 are going to be making their way up towards this A area of the map. Or he's heard them. He's absolutely heard them. And this is going to be a killer round. Nova, he's practically won the round for him. They can rotate in behind. You can see Zyrex is rotating in position at the perfect time. Oh, the timing doesn't work out. Hassan can turn around, take Nova out of the round. But the 2 players are here on the site. That's it. The round should be over. All of that info gained is much more than his life could have offered, and it's up to these last 2 players to close things down. Oh no! Oh, that could have gone so wrong, but Laugh is there to recover it in the dying embers of the round. That was so close, Nick.
Yeah, that really was. That was... yeah, you don't like to see it that close. I don't think any of us do, let's be completely honest, but sometimes it just happens like that, unfortunately.
It does just happen like that, indeed. That is going to be the deep fountain molly, and that should halt the T aggressions up towards the party area, well, the playground area first, and then moving towards party. And I'm not sure if, well, Tree definitely heard him. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch the timing on him, though, because your man Conti, he's just running up long. He has thrown caution to the wind. He doesn't really know what's going on, and Tree can play with his food all day and night, but the rest of Retired 5, they've made their way out of connector, and this is a deco round, so the threat of those one-tap headshots is ever present. Oh, Alex, he's made a lot of noise. Oh no, they're not aware of it. Dumas gets taken out, but Hassan can be there to trade, and that means that the A site is pretty open for the taking. There should be rotations coming through to be able to halt that progression, but it's very up in the air because Tree can lock down those rotations, so does seem like on the lurk on that B site might not have the most impact. Nova, though, he's going to push out into the site. Oh, he just clears the close corner, but it doesn't matter because that Deagle spam can take him out, and Apix can upgrade to that M4. He'll be happy to do so. Oh, Tree is going to get caught unawares slightly, and oh no, the Deagles are putting in all the work, and it's all left onto Zyrex. He can upgrade to the M4 with that, but with the info gained, Retired 5 are absolutely ready to play around this info, and Omni, that lurk does come into play because he's pushed under heaven, and I doubt Zyrex is going to be prepared for this. No, that's the end of that round, and Retired 5, they just put on a really good Deagle round there, mate.
Yeah, they really did. In fairness to them, I mean, again, it's the classic ESEA scenario. You know, we both look at a Deagle round, and we kind of at first, I think, more often than not, your commentators will look at a Deagle round and go, "Ooh, I don't know." But then when you start doing the SCA, you're like, "Okay, they could probably win this one." To be honest with you, it's no longer a 50-50. It's more like a 60-40, maybe a 70-30 split between whether or not you can pull that Deagle round off. It just depends how quick and accurate you can possibly be with it. And speaking about accuracy, Tree will have to be accurate here as he tries to help the rest of his teammates take on that frag. He will get it in the end, but they will lose a player in return, and that's Laugh taken out there. AK recovered though, so they could definitely put that to work, or they could obviously look to retain.
Yeah, I definitely choose to save that one. Alex will get caught out, and we should see this round come to a conclusion. But Apex, he's going to be put under pressure, and he's absolutely good for that one. The pressure cooker's not going to crack this time. It's just a matter of whether Tree can save this AK. Do you think he's gonna? Do you think he can do it?
It's a very long time to save an AK for. I mean, if there was ever a player that you'd expect to do it, Tree would be it. We've seen him play outstanding in previous games for La. Obviously, we've had the misfortune of watching them lose those games, but still being played quite well. Yeah, I think looking at it from this side of things, he is going to keep the AK, of course. It'll be beneficial for them into this next round, and they can certainly buy up around the AK. We can see it changing hands immediately to Laugh as well, because Tree's got the cash balance to buy himself back into it. Swap back, actually. I'm proven wrong once again.
Well, we are going to move into our first proper big gun round, I want to say. There were a couple of force buys earlier on, but this is kind of where the first proper round where both of these teams can execute their strategies coming into play. We are going to see Retired 5. They take that short control, and they have quite a bit of control over towards this B site. You will typically see a 3-man setup over here, but it's not going to be the case in this one, as they try and set up around the toilets area. Now, Retired 5 coming into this game, they're on a 2-map win streak. They've got 100% win rate on this map, and they're going to continue to keep that win rate up. It was 16-11 and 16-8 in their previous engagements. So, they're setting themselves up pretty well, to be honest, so far.
My main concern is how much space they've allowed Retired 5 to get into that short area. Uncontested as well. I mean, there's no Molly use there to kind of block things off. Trade will go out, and Tree and Nova will be the trade outs essentially in that fight. And I feel like a bit more aggression towards short might stifle things from Retired. You want to try and block this team off as quick as possible, because you've seen him be, as you mentioned, rightly so, quite dominant in this map.
Yeah, Laugh gets naded down super low, and he's barely kicking, but that's going to buy enough space for Retired 5 to get the bomb down. Now, they did execute this B push based off that. Oh, okay. Interrupting me is Zyrex with a lovely headshot, and that's a 2 versus 4. This makes things a lot more doable because there's no lurk, and there's barely any nades to speak of from Retired 5, so the Finnish team are going to have a lot to do. Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. Okay. Well,
you hate to see it, but you hate to see it, but you also love to see that round win anyway. Coming off the back of it. Are we gonna? Should we brush that over, or are we gonna talk about that?
There's so much to unpack in that round, honestly, because there was even the player dying after time, so he gets a bit less money. It's not going to impact them, but you know what? We'll just draw a line in the sand into that round and just move on, because we have all the bells and whistles. Hassan has the AWP, and he can be fairly deadly on this weapon. However, it is A side that's put under pressure, and Alex, he feels a little bit of that, trying to expend some utility to hold off these T aggressions. Of course, we can see they're not that aggressive. They're taking things fairly slowly, but they're going to take things cautious, and honestly, that's a safer bet to do.
Yeah, taking that cautious stance is always, sort of a good idea, especially when you're in rounds like this. That Apex lock-in horns there with Tree, and he'll finish that fight off very quickly, but lose quite a lot of HP as a result. Conti's going to pick up Alex elsewhere. Laugh just swinging out on Bulldog. That's a bit of an aggression that I wanted to see in that previous round on short. It works out quite nicely. He'll pick up 2. He's not going to get the 3rd, though. Why are we losing players like that in scenarios like this? Around Laugh getting those 2 2-piece there.
It seems like the slow pace and the measured way that they're taking the map is kind of flustering ER because they're losing players on A and they're like, oh, okay, well, it's just an A setup. We're going to push through B, but there's players there as well. They weren't expecting that and they get caught out.
I mean, you see teams get punished like that all the time as well when they make that assumption. Not normally an overpass, in fairness, because most teams are quite cautious as far as over rotating too early. You know, there's a number of different ways you can retake these sites from, and you know, if you're a proficient team on this map, then you can really run away with a retake in some cases, as we've seen Yard do earlier on.
Pyrex, the P250, 2 kills against AKs. That's insane. You're not supposed to do that.
No, you're not. You're not supposed to push short like that with the P250. You slap 2 headshots and pull away with an AK. Ooh, you get 1 out of it, but he actually tap damages 3 different players, actually, in fact, with that spray through. Not enough to get 3, of course, but he'll get 1 and 3 will be the man to fall. But the AK is still going to get recovered anyway, nonetheless. 2-2 split now between A and B to try and get some coverage.
That's a fair chance of damage.
Yeah.
The info gained as well. He knows that the A site's clear off that, so he can just mosey his way in, and the bomb, you can see it's just lurking outside B here. They've completely outplayed ER.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, look at it. Bomb's got free reign. It can do whatever it wants to do now, realistically speaking. I don't think there's anyone... no, there's definitely no one anywhere remotely near to be able to hear that audible crunch of click, and there's a cover man available for it as well. Also, this is going to be a really difficult retake from Yar, especially if they aren't able to pick up Apex as quickly as they need to. Alex is going to fall. Apex is just running away with this at the minute. He's got himself a 3-piece. He's looking for a 4th. Zyrex is the last man standing. He spots out Apex and he will pick him up, but yeah, he's got no chance of going for that bomb. Not in the position that he's in at the minute. He's going to have to try and vacate as quick as possible to retain the AK, but he is being hunted. Did he catch? He did catch him.
Yeah, he had to.
Had to have, yeah. Nice like me and completely blind, but yeah. Spray through, nice. Okay, we'll pick up 1 onto Contis.
Is it going to be the ace save? Oh, he's looking the wrong way. Oh,
yes.
It's so close. It's so close.
Oh, he died.
No. Well, that's... I mean, I feel like it's my catchphrase, but it really is unfortunate.
It is. No, genuinely, it really is. It's super unfortunate, but I mean, the other thing to take into consideration, those 3 pieces, that's going to give him a bit of extra cash in the bank balance to be able to buy himself back into this round, especially with the rest of his teammates that have already obviously full bought around. Yeah. But yeah, it's super unfortunate that.
I feel like Tree, he is the AWPer for YAR, and it almost seems as though he's treating every gun that he has in his hands like an AWP on these A pushes. It's just not working out. Oh no, that's...
Oh no.
You can't let that happen, mate.
You really can't. But this is what I was saying to you a few rounds back, you know, they're awarding Retired so much space to maneuver within short that, you know, eventually they're going to get punished, and that's Bulldog really punishing Nova, essentially, at that point. They're lucky to not get too dropped off that, to be completely honest. Look at Zyrex's HP as a result of it. He's 19 HP. He's having to kind of play back of side to get away from the danger zone. That's good info, though, from Alex.
Okay, that's a critical frag to get, because that makes things so difficult for Retired 5. They might not even be able to have the space for the plant. Although Zyrex going down should buy them that space. They are aware of where these last 2 players are, and that means that Dumas can get the plant in. It is Omni and Dumas to hold things off. Omni, of course, is one of the star players for this Retired 5 squad, but he's going to have a tall task to hold Laff and Alex off so far. They've not been having the hottest game so far, but we did see Laff hit a nice shot earlier, and there's definitely a couple more opportunities to hit some more nice shots. See some utility rain in. Well,
yep.
You were saying that was sensible. That was very sensible from Omni.
No, it really was. I was saying it's a sensible Molotov to throw down. You know, it's going to give him good. It's going to give good info, and it's going to play quite nicely into the hands. But yeah, Omni is just, yeah, as you said, there's a reason why he's the danger man at the minute for YAR, and there's a reason why he's playing so well in this current season of ESEA. So yeah, you perform like that, you know, that's going to be unstoppable at some points. Cyrix will push straight through Molotov and he'll suffer quite a lot of HP damage as a result. I don't see the sense in that, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a bit of lack of depth in that play there because they did that the exact last round that they had pistols out, and I guess they're trying to recreate the magic, but it's just not going to work out this round as they all fall. Not a single man from retired 5 going down, so a bit of a maybe a miscalculation to do the exact same play as their previous pistol round, but nonetheless, we're going to move swiftly onto our rifle round, and I kind of want to see Tree bring out the AWP because the rifles haven't been working out, and there we go. He gets it dropped.
He does, yeah. He does get it dropped. Okay, Tree, show us what you're made of now, mate, because we know that you can perform extremely well with that AWP. You've seen you do it time and time again. He's not really got anyone pushing for him up in that position, in fairness, so he doesn't have a lot to move with. Conti's going to swing out deep. He'll miss the first shot onto him, and he smoked out of position. Conti's just read that perfectly. Pushed through smoke to take out Nova. That Molotov's not going to do any damage to him as well, so he's got enough room to manoeuvre and swing around. You'll get a second, and that's Alex dropped as well, and yeah, retired 5, when they're on the front foot, they seem to just be punishing Yara at the minute.
Yeah, there's that bit of hesitation that you're seeing from some of these ER players, and it's costing them a lot. Conti, he is a star player, he has over 100 ADR throughout all of their matches, and I think they're 5-1 right now, so retired 5, these are definitely a formidable set of players to come up against ER. I did have my hopes kind of lowered a little bit, but there's always a little bit of hope to retain because we can see some of the plays that these ER players are making. We saw Zyrex, with that insane P250 round. We might see another one from him actually because he's actually just got bomb control. That's absolutely flipped around on its head. He only has 3 HP, so needs to hit the headshots, but there's 30 seconds left. He has a smoke and a flash to work with. If he plays this right, he could absolutely just win the round. There's a knife coming out. The retired 5 are helping him out. Oh, he's looking the wrong way. The timing might not match him. If you can get around the corner.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you can get around that corner, this is going to work out quite nicely for him. They're forced to go back to B. He's got so much info here from the footsteps. He knows both players are there. He can bide his time here, realistically speaking, and go for Pillar's not going to go in his favour, but he could have gone for a bomb delay potentially to stop that round from going in favour of retired 5.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of lack of confidence coming through there because he sits on his laurels a little bit. If he was a bit more aggressive or push through a little bit, we might have seen something different because that time did get ever so low. Now these retired 5 players have repositioned completely, and I mean every second that passes is working against Zyrex to bring this round to a retired 5 conclusion, and there we go. Apex will lock it in. Man, that was so close yet so far. We're seeing these little glimmers of hope come through for ER, and it is mainly just Zyrex who's got a 2 KD right now, 16-8. He's the only player with 2 digits of kills on the board for ER, whereas on retired 5 side of things, Conti has 10 and Apex has 11. So Zyrex is putting on a masterclass, but doesn't really seem like ER are shaping up around him.
No. Yeah. Heavy are the shoulders for Zyrex at the minute, and he's trying everything he can to pull his teammates in around him, at least anyway, and share the wealth, so to speak. Those grenades will ring off, and Contis will suffer the majority of the damage. Apex will pick up Yar's current star player. Alex will retort and take down Apex, and it's a good position from Nova. Bulldog is just clearing house.
That's Hassan. His trust factor might not be the highest, so...
Is it Hassan?
Yes, it is.
Perfect, okay. Well, for you, Stream, his name is Hassan, but for me, obviously, it's Bulldog, just so everyone's on the same page. Yeah, trust factor is probably not the best then for him, I'm assuming. Oh, yikes. Double upset at play. I mean, if nothing else is working, try something new, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bold play for Nova to call. He's the IGL, and seems like he's going to try double AWPing in this round, and it could be the lifeline that ER needed. He gets the opening, and he can fall back and even use some utility to hold off this push, and, well, it's worked. I don't know if that was necessarily the way that Nova wanted it to work out, but if it works out, he'll take the credit. Tree, he's going to get pushed forward. Oh, Alex, he doesn't see the player, and he can fall off, lucky to escape with his life. Some of these retired 5 players, they might be retired, but we know that they have some intermediate experience, so perhaps a little bit, of a level above ER in the standings. Of course, ER, they're trying to pull the upset here, and well, this is the round that can start that cascade to win back some rounds. Retired 5 might have won the half already in terms of round difference, but there's definitely a lifeline that ER can work around here.
Yeah, Yar can claw back, the next 2-3 rounds potentially. That will make things a little bit more comfortable going into T side. Again, one of my what seems to be favourite catchphrases is recoverable from that sort of scoreline, but it genuinely is when you think about it logically, especially with the swing and flow of this map. Nova, more? No more, unfortunately. Bit of an Oliver Twist moment there for me. I do apologise. More? Stood there with my ball out ready for that last AWP kill and just doesn't come through, unfortunately. Apex is he's gonna die there, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's out on to a site with bomb in hand, and he's just got no choice but to back himself off. But you mentioned Nova buying the AWP potentially being a risky play or a well cracked out play, and in the end it was a cracked out play. Picks out 3 for his trouble. Definitely puts Yar on the front foot in that round, at least anyway.
Yeah, it really does, and it's interesting that Retired 5 have opted not to go for the AWP. We saw them use it earlier on, and they had some effect with it, but I think they just want to try and be dynamic. They've had some success with this slower, measured playstyle. Zyrex, though, he's crispy today. He gets the opener in this round, and that's going to buy a little bit of space for them to work around. That's almost the reverse of what we've seen so far. These Retired 5 players, they've been moseying around the map and picking up opening kills, but this time it goes into favor of ER, and, well, it's working into their favor towards building into their CT half a little bit stronger. Tree is going to watch for this monster push, though, and as we see Dumar jiggle out, there we go, he has the reactions for it, or even goes in for more, unable to hit it, but he gets the info, and they should be able to adjust accordingly. Apex pushing up the bathrooms area, and Alex can use some utility to hold him off. He's not had the strongest game today, but this could be the moment for him to shine. Gets caught out a little bit, but he can escape with his life, and that means they can reposition.
I just want to, we'll let this round play out and we'll talk in a second about what I was going to say. Zyrex is just destroying them. I mean, whatever this man has had for dinner, I want some as well. I mean, jeez. He's 20 bombed already. I mean, 13 rounds in? Highest kill count in the server so far? He's on for 30, realistically speaking, if his T side's as any good as his CT side's been.
Yeah, this is almost, simple or Zywoo-esque when you're talking about these, top world-class players. He is putting on a world-class performance on this case. There is only 15 seconds left. Apex can work with this. He gets the first, and that's the star man of today. He is going to commit to the plant, though, and Laf should be able to close this down. He's a bit hesitant, and there we go. They do get the bomb plant, but they build on their rounds, and I think that's the first... No, well, it's not the first time they've got 2 rounds in a row, but it's the first time they've got 2 rounds in a row when we've got out of the pistol round.
Yes, yeah, it is. I was going to mention this a second ago while Cyrus was warming things up for us. That's the first time that we've really seen Yar in this map not over-rotate so quickly when they've lost control of short or when they've had players spotted from long. They haven't, we still had players in bathroom. We had Alex still kind of covering both angles from bathroom. No one really went, does everyone get to be immediately because they're all going that direction? And it paid off quite nicely because they were able to take picks from both sides and kind of stifle Retired a bit more. I'm liking that learning curve that's coming in. We were saying this the other day that we want to see them learning from mistakes, and they definitely are. Tree.
Well,
you won't get any more.
That one, but can chime in to lock down the toilets, and that'll be the last player on long with the bomb. Nova, he's making a lot of sound, and that might bait him in for a honey trap. Omni, he's the last player. Nova, he should have spotted him. He didn't. He gets the info now.
Yeah.
There we go. The end of the round comes to fruition.
What's happened in the last 3 rounds? I mean, Yara have just someone's jumped in the Discord channel and we're like, can you wake up? Please, wake up. What's going on with you lads? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, what is going on? This is insane. They've won those last 3 rounds confidently and confidently. It's not it's been crisp watching, to be completely honest. And as much as we're singing Zyrex's praises, there have been extraordinary efforts from elsewhere. Tree in that last round did perfectly well. Nova is just powering through with the AWP as well. Will get shut down in the end, and Zyrex is doing as much as he can to kill as much as he can. He'll get 2, but will drop, and Laugh will manage to get a Molotov kill elsewhere. Contis is the last man standing in a 1v3, and all Yar have really got to do is lock him into a position that he can't maneuver from.
Yeah, he's locked in position with 7 HP, but he's the star fragger. He's had the only impact in this round. Alex, that game sense to throw the nade in, that will help them, recover things. And we end up in 8-7, which is the exact scenario that we wanted ER to come out with.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly the scenario that we wanted to see happen from Yar's perspective. I'm extremely happy with it. I'll be completely honest with you. They've done really, really, really well, to get to this sort of position. It's now we turn to the other question of burnout. How long can you sustain gameplay like that we've just seen from them? Those last 4 rounds of that first half, they played incredibly well. Can they really sustain it into the second half and try and pull more and more rounds out of this team?
Yeah, I really hope they can. They were a bit hesitant on their CT side, and I just hope those last few, clutch rounds that they had can give them that burst of energy, that bit of confidence that can make them make plays and win these rounds. We've seen them struggle a bit with their team play on previous maps, but I think Overpass lends itself to having that ease of cohesion that you can work through, because you do need to communicate with the players around you to be able to take these areas of map control in defaults and even in pushes together. So it really is just contingent on how these players are feeling and the calls that can come through to build that cohesion together.
Definitely. The good news is I've just been notified by Shaky how to update so you can actually see Bulldog's real name, Hassan, so that's now done. So I'm going to go, who the hell is Bulldog? He doesn't play for us. What are you on about? So you should see now the proper retired 5 team. But yeah, I mean, good effort from Yar in that towards the end of that first half. I'm eager to see what they can push out into the second half. We're just waiting on players to ready up, and we should hopefully be good to go momentarily. I mean, if your coach, I know we go back to this conversation all the time, and I think you're tired of me asking you, if you're the coach in this scenario, what are you doing? How do you bring this in for a Yar win? I mean, do you play loose? Do you tell them, right, we're going to do contact pushes? What are your kind of thought processes after watching the way that Retired have played so far?
Well, myself, looking at this Retired 5 squad, they have some players with intermediate experience. The core of their team is formerly from ISO Esports. So, they've even had organizational backing at one point in time. So it's definitely an underdog situation. And when you get to that kind of area, you kind of need to just tell your players, hey, we might be the underdogs, but you can definitely win this out. And the easiest way to do that, in my eyes, to play together and play off each other. So having some faster rounds where you're taking, B rushes and things like that, it might seem a bit cliche, to just shout at your players, B rush together and whatnot. But if you've, practiced some out and the protocols of how to, have some good entry paths into the site with some flashes to back it up, then it's absolutely an easy take, 3 out of 5 days of the week. So I would say that's definitely the way forward. However, if you've got some players like Zyrex who are popping off 22 kills at a half, still rocking a 2KD at an end of a half, you might as well just tell him, Zyrex, go kill the old Zyru strat from Vitality back in the day.
Yeah, do it. Basically, just let him run free a little bit more. I think this will probably end up being, if he does perform the way that he performed the first half, the first 40 bombs. Sorry, I would say that I've casted at least anyway from a team without going into OT. Is this a contact push and they're pulling back into short?
Yeah, they're just trying to figure out why the B site is so clear. They do have short control now, but as they fade away into the short control, they've kind of lost the B site. Omni can call it's free, and that means that Apix and Hassan can rotate. Hassan trying to sneak his way over towards the forget what it's called, the truck area. There
Optimus.
Is one player in Bang. That's the one, Optimus. I was struggling with that one, but it is Laugh and Alex to hold off these 2 remaining players. There is a kit, but laugh. He's just going to walk backwards into that kill, and that leaves things in a 1 versus 1. It is Alex. If there was a time to come up clutch, it would be now. It is against Apix. He's reloading, dancing behind the dice, and Alex, he tries to go for a bit of an audacious play. He gets punished for it, and that means Retired 5 will have this opening half with a round win.
Yeah, and Apix has got plenty of time to defuse, even without picking up the defusal kit as well. I don't know. Obviously, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and you and I can sit here and analyse round after round after round after round with relative, patience in doing so. I feel like Alex staying put maybe would have worked out a bit more beneficial. It would have forced the hand of Apix to push into him, and we potentially could have seen that go the other direction. But again, hindsight is a wonderful thing from a commentator.
It really is. Now, based on the back of that, they are going to force up just as their counter teammates did. Ooh, Apix and Conti, though, they're going to try and crunch the party area. They do pick up 2 kills, but that's 2 kills in the favour of ER as well. Now, as I said before, that does often favour the T side, but the way that the info is played out, it means that Retired 5 can stack their ways over towards the A side of things, and that is absolutely where these last 3 players are. I think all of them, but perhaps Nova was spotted out, so there is the ever presence of a lurk to come through. But
this is why you see Dumas where he is. He's waiting for that lurk play to come through.
He absolutely is. I'm a bit curious as to Yar's game plan here, because Hassan, he's just cleared the front of toilets. Tree gets perfect timing, can eliminate him from the backside, and there we go. You see the rotations start to come through. They're going to give the A site up, but that's to buy a bit of space for Dumas to rotate in. We did see him on the B site. It is going to be Omni and Dumas sitting in this post-plant situation as we see the execute come through. It is an SMG and a FAMAS to hold these players off, or rather win the round out. Although Dumas can upgrade to a Galil, and that means that it's a bit of an even kill in terms of firepower. He gets the jump on Tree, and that leaves things in a 2 versus 2. Dumas, he's just walking through and taking scalps. It is the IGL, the captain Nova, to hold things off. He gets the first, but Dumas, he's been popping off. He might be able to clutch this one out. He taps the bomb behind a nade. Nova spams it out, but doesn't spot him. Oh no! Oh, they just barely win. That's such a clutch round from Dumas, and Nova will be kicking himself.
You really will. You can see him shaking his crosshair right at the very end of that round. He's going to be super unhappy with that. Yar did everything right at the beginning, and then it kind of dipped away a little bit. They allowed a bit more space to maneuver. Then they cleared into site quite effectively, making good use of utility, but just super unlucky there right at the very end for Nova. He tapped the bomb as the frag grenade went off. Masked the sound perfectly, but Nova was able to do something to try and help out, just not quick enough. Tree, on the other hand, will be quick enough to pick up Contis, but Apix is going to retort. Zyrex there, still extending that kill count. 24 now at the minute, taking Dumas down.
Yeah, he's having an outstanding match so far, and well, they got some space towards the A site because they've got a kill in connector and towards A. They know that there's likely to be 2 players over towards the B site, especially because now they've spotted out the toilets are open. They are a little bit wary of the rotations coming in through connector, and well, Hassan can hear those nades being thrown, so he can call that in, and there we go, the rotations come through. There will be a fight on the A site. Apex sitting at Optimus, he gets taken out, but there's a trade to come through, and Omni tries to fade away, but gets taken out, and Hassan gets spotted out, tagged down low. Zyrex coming out with a 3 kill to clutch that round out for ER, and well, that's a much needed round to win.
Gives him that breathing room. I mean, look at the economy from Retired 5. They're forced now into a full eco round, so you'd expect that to go 10-9 potentially there after the back of it. They are really fought hard to get that extra bit of breathing space to give them, ourselves a chance of getting within one round of Retired. Who knows what will happen in this round. Of course, we can see a full stack of Deagles with our armor purchased by the entirety of Retired, so a proper Deagle round. And this should be quite interesting to see. That Molotov lands almost perfectly in position to take Dumas, or force Dumas's hand there to reveal himself a little bit too quickly. Alex is pushing forward. May have bitten off more than he could chew at the minute, but you'll get one at least anyway out of it. He's got Tree there as a cover man to help out, so realistically speaking, he shouldn't get swamped too quickly. That is, unless he pushes him behind a Molotov.
I mean, he hears the Deagles. He's like, I can hear the dinner bell ringing. I want to get some money farmed up with this Mac 10. Just charging through, and now he's on the hunt.
Here's the Eagles. He's like, kill me, go, let's do this. Okay. In fact, we'll check in with him really quickly because he is super, super close to Hassan. Will he get the kill? He will indeed. He adds a bit of extra cash into his bank balance. He'll even get himself a deagle out of it as well. He's hunting another kill as well off the back of it. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, I won't get. Just not enough, unfortunately. Alex there getting a little bit kill hungry, but after the way that he played in the first half, you'd imagine that he's needed that little bit of extra confidence boost to push into those deagles like that. A match pause will come out, and I believe that's going to be in the hands of Retired. We don't know for definite, of course, because we don't see it. I know I say this every single time, but you'd imagine it'd be Retired to give themselves a second to figure out what's going on here and what's causing Yar to have so much success against them at the moment.
Yeah, with the experience that these players have, you think that they're trying to disrupt the flow of ER. I don't think they have a coach, or at least there's not one registered, so there won't be a little voice in the back of their heads trying to give them advice and give them a new game plan to play behind. But just breaking up the flow and the momentum of ER could be enough through one of those pauses. And you can see ER, they're just ready to get things going. They're going to go for a similar heavy B push, and that's the perfect counter to what Retired 5 have gone for, because they've gone for another A stack. We should see a bit less fighting going on in the site here, however, because Dumas is pushed up short, and well, I don't know if Yar consider this because they're not keeping an eye on it. There we go. Alex can spot it out. He gets the spray off, but needs to reload. And, well, Retired 5 have repositioned off the back of that. Oh, Tree. Well, there's a knife, but it doesn't come through. Tree. Letting some shots of frustration come out.
I think it was fear more than frustration, to be honest. The guy pretty much jumped out on him with a knife in hand. Oh, I had Sean to laugh there from Contis.
Oh.
Dumas.
Well, he recovers the aim and he recovers an AK off the back of that. He can fall back and try and save that tree to try and get a little bit of an opening. But if he went down, it could have, flipped its head on this round. It is going to fall out to an ER win, and that should leave things in a 10-10 scenario. Zyrex will fall, but it's not fraughtless because they have money. And we should be coming towards a big gun round again, and this will be kind of the first big gun round of this half.
Yeah, Retired 5 are going to lack some utility into this round, and a couple of different key players like Hassan, for example, and Omi. But realistically speaking, buying up around what they have available to them at the minute, they're forced into buying more or less, aren't they? Really, with rifles, they can't allow Yar to continue to extend this sort of good playing rounds here. I mean, and get the extension in the scoreline. I mean, at the minute, Tree and Cyrex are doing everything possible to still clutch those rounds back out of it, and Tree sitting pretty with 2 kills into this round so far. He's hunting a third. He might be able to connect the headshot onto Hassan, but he's not quick enough with it. That grenade is massive, however. The amount of damage laid on by that grenade is huge, and Laugh and Cyrex are just destroyed as a result of it. Hassan can fade away off the back of it as well.
Yeah, I mean, Retired 5, they were never in a position to hold the A site. Hassan just puts on an absolute masterclass of a wall, and then they can rotate. They've had one player on the B site at all times, and Hassan's even repositioned. He's got some more impact. That's a triple kill, almost on for the ace, as he gets the info. Man, one man to do it all. He will do it all indeed, getting the info, and that means that Nova and Tree just need to push their way through. They spot the first player out, but they're not aware of Dumas, and doesn't get one. Tree can recover things, a 4K of his own, and that's a bit of a sigh of relief just from yourself, and I'm sure the players as well.
That's a shaky round. That is a very, very shaky round from Yal. They got punished, let's be completely honest, for that push into A site. And Hassan, as you said perfectly, what a man to do all the jobs known to possibility as far as CS is concerned. 1 minute he's at A site, he puts on a perfect performance to stop Yar dead in their tracks, and then rotates immediately and gets even more damage dealt into Yar. But 11-10 is your scoreline, and I think for the first time since 4 rounds into the first half, this is the first time Yar have been leading.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We saw Retired 5 go on that huge tear to win the half outright, and then that's kind of where ER recovered things. We are going to see them finally take the lead here, and this is very much an upset situation. Apix, he goes for the aggressive angle into connector, and well, that's thrown a spanner in the works because he recovers an AK. That's 2 rifles to work with now.
Cyrex as well is the man to fall. Again, he's just been super dangerous in this game so far. Another drop as Nova falls, but Tree's able to retort off the back of it. That foot has been spotted.
There we go.
Yeah, that's a good kill that is from Axel. Recovers
Alex.
1 AK. Axel. It's going to be Axel from now on. I'll DM him after
Axel
and tell him
Rose.
it's Axel. Yeah, that's an AK recovered at least anyway from Alex. Which definitely will go some way towards stopping Retired potentially in the next round if they're able to only recover the 2 guns out of this.
Although the aggressions on these Deagles, I don't know where they're getting this confidence from, but they've got all the info and they've got 2 backstabs. Even a man falling, fairly passive on the site. It's 3 of the most outstanding players from Retired 5 so far. I don't know if ER will even consider this. They should barely just get the bomb off, but that's it. Dumas has made his location known. Tree can adjust in time, and that's a big kill to pick up because they still have the man advantage now. Conti even gets taken out. Tree putting in, critical work with 6 HP, a triple K in the round, and, well, we've said Deagle rounds are deadly. Retired 5 have shown us exactly, why that's the case.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, they managed to pick up 2 frags off the back of this, and this round has just, gone all Yar's direction. They've been playing extremely well. I mean, I think we'll both, hand on heart agree with that one at least anyway. That's another frag in the bag for Tree. Seems to have woken up in the second half.
Yeah, he really has. He's not even, with the AWP. You do see this man, hit some nice shots like we did in the first half, but he's having tremendous impact without having the preferred gun of choice on his back.
This is going to be a crunch round from Retired into Yar, though. I mean, this is the first time we've seen him buy an AWP in second half, more or less. It's in the hand of Conti's as well. He's been super deadly with it in T-side up until they went on the tear where they were just buying rifle after rifle constantly. So it'd be interesting to see where he's going to be placed to try and stifle Yar. Apex will start things off, and Nova is the man to fall inside playground, and Apex has got plenty of time to fade away off the back of that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It does seem like Retired 5 have gained a new lease of life as they're going for these aggressive picks all around the map, and they're not expecting it. They kind of play with the expectation that they've got some respect, and the fact that Retired 5 aren't giving it to them is proving troublesome.
This is going to be an interesting push here because, I mean, look at the positioning from all players essentially. The only player that's left up top is, I was going to say left up top is Laugh, and he drops immediately. Hassan will pick up Alex elsewhere. Bomb still hasn't been seen by Retired, so that's why we don't see a heavy rotation back into B-side, although you can see Conti's going for it now because that bomb has been spotted. Tree will pick up one, he'll fall immediately after. Zyrex is last man standing. He'll grab a sand, but Omi's there ready to receive, and that will go 12-11 in favour. Still a team of EsportsWales, but as I mentioned at the very beginning, that was a crunch round from Retired. A must-need win round, essentially, and they managed to pull it out of the bag.
Yeah, it was a must-win round. Their economy was in a dire situation, and now because of that, all of ER have fallen, and so their economy is going to be called into question. You don't often see it on the T side, but the way that they've been losing players from this fragging Retired 5 side does mean that they're going to have to, reinvest, and that's going to deplete their money over time. We are even going to see Retired 5 try and be even more dynamic than they've been so far. Repositioning off, losing party, and they're just going to push around long, but, Dumas hits a lovely shot into Alex, trying to fade away from the B site, and, well, you shouldn't be, seeing players do that on the CT side. It's such a strong kill to get because they get all that info behind it as well.
Yeah, it's the info, and it's also the kind of like the stifling moment, to do something like that to someone. Omi will pick up Laugh, and Tree will retort, and again, he's just adding frags on to his kill count. Contis will go for the first. He'll try and get a no-scope, but he's not going to be successful. Hassan will play from Optimus. He'll spot the bomb planter out, and Tree didn't really have much of a choice there but to stop the plant. Arm has been spotted by Nova. It's not enough damage, unfortunately. It's an awkward fight. 2-on-1.
It's so awkward. He doesn't have an ammo, but you can upgrade or change weapons. It doesn't matter, though, because Dumas, he got the opening frag, and he gets the finishing frag. And he's been, instrumental. Impact frags galore. He only has 10 kills. He's the lowest fragger, but he absolutely had the impact frags in that round.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, exactly as you mentioned. In fact, he's he hasn't got an awful lot of kills, and the kills he does have are enough to really write home about because they're the ones that matter in the most at the moment for Retired 5. A weird buy round from, I say weird, I mean, buy down to 2,000 is kind of a normal thing from an MM perspective.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is an MM strat.
Yeah, exactly. It can work sometimes in Open, but it hasn't worked in that game, in this round at least anyway. Yeah, the buy down to 2,000, the old school MM strat, buy down to 2k, and let's retain what we can into the next round afterwards. It's a favoured matchmaking strat for us silver elites and gold over ones, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work out that well into ESEA.
Yeah, it's not going to work out that time. They are able to invest off the back of it. They did have that little bit of bank behind them, or left in the coffers. But it is just going to be an A push together. And this is kind of what I was talking about where, the underdog situation comes through. They just push through together, try and get the kills, and that's it. 2 frags. The A site has fallen. They just need to capitalize off the back of it, commit to it. And you can see Alex with the Mac 10. He's going to do exactly that. It's just having some eyes open, some ears open, and being aware of the backstab. There we go. Laugh falls. They're aware of it now, but Dumas, he's got so much space to work with. Alex, he's going to go for the push with the Mac 10. That's a bit ill-advised, and Dumas, he gets another in the backside. That's going to make things so much more awkward. Zyrex, the star player so far of this map, he's stuck in a 1 versus 2 situation. He's got no HP to work with, but we've seen him win this round before. It's just whether he has the timing to work it out in this one. It's not going to matter because Retired 5, they build up to 14 and they're just on the precipice of match point.
Yeah, this is an eco round from Yar as well from a money perspective, unless they really... I mean, it is an eco round essentially. There's no easy way of putting it. In fairness, is it? So this potentially could go the direction of 15-12 and put Retired 5 on match point. But again, we've seen stranger things happen. Although the Deagle rounds haven't really worked out for Retired 5, who knows?
Yeah, who knows indeed. They're going to go for that connector aggression that we saw work out for them earlier when Retired 5 were going for that boost, although it's not going to work out in the same fashion. They will get Contis, and that's one of the AWPers of the double up setup. Apix will fall as well, but the rotations have come through, and, well, Tree's going to drop the first AWP. Nova does have the second, but I don't know if they fancied their chances in this round.
Nah, retain and pull away, really, isn't it? That's got to be the option. I mean, Nova's got bomb, Hassan's got Nova. 15-12 is the scoreline, and Retired 5 are on match point at the moment. And what we've seen from Yar in this second half has been wonderful to watch. And I'll always sing the praises for the second half because they've played outstandingly well. But they are on the precipice of losing this match, by a very small margin.
Yeah, it does seem like these heavy pushes together haven't been working out, so I would have expected some sort of pause or, recalculation come through. It is just going to be this B committal though, and Omni, he's up to the task. He's got 4 kills on for the ace, but that will be it. The game's done and dusted as they walk to their death through the smoke. And I mean, it is a loss, but it is a fairly close loss, and especially considering the caliber of the players they came up against. This is an intermediate caliber team, or some of the players are at least. So I'm actually kind of happy that ER were able to perform as they did. It's 6-1 for Retired 5, but that was very close to being 5-2, knocking on their second loss. But it's not going to be the case in this round, or in this case, or this match, whatever the word you want to use is. ER do pick up a loss, and that'll be commiserations to them.
Let's be completely honest, as you mentioned perfectly, they're going up against players in that team which are intermediate, but then you look at our, the Team Yar sort of players that are in the mix there. Cyrax just, the man destroyed from the word get go.
Yeah.
It was good to see Tree wake up into the second half a bit more as well. There was a lot of really, really good things coming out of that match, and a lot of really good contribution from everyone in the end. Laugh finished at 19 kills, Nova finished at 12 kills, and let's be honest, Nova picking up that AWP, that was a decisive round for him to buy the AWP into. That worked out perfectly. So yeah, really good things coming in, coming from Team Yara into that match, and I'm certain that we're going to see our first win go up on the board relatively soon. We do have another match coming up for you tomorrow evening, if I'm not mistaken. Think so, yeah, 24th. What day is it today? 23rd, yeah, so it's the 24th tomorrow, so we'll definitely have a game up tomorrow evening for yourselves. I believe we're going to be watching Tan tomorrow night, because we've given Yar so much content and love over the last couple of days. I don't really want to riot in the Discord, so we're going to try and see if we can get the game at 8:30 tomorrow night for Tan versus No Respect. And then we'll be back Wednesday with I think Yar again, Cryptic Core, either that or Team MCE for Tan. Otherwise, though, thank you very much for joining both me and Jammer for this evening. As always, if you are interested in what we get up to on the sidelines, by all means drop us a follow. Our details are on the screen. Get involved with Esports all their details are below, and they'll probably pop up on the side chat as well. But Jammer, thank you very much for joining me, mate, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.